Welcome back to another small production run of lovely dinner plates. In this video I'm going to show you how I rough turn these. Now I like to rough these, first of all these are not quartersawn, they're flatsawn timber. Although this maple is quite stable, I still want to just rough turn it, get the overall shape and get the inside slightly turned away or roughed out. Just so that the wood has, if it has any tendency to warp, that it has opportunity to do so. Now, from the start, let me apologize for my cracking voice. Both of my sons and my beautiful wife and myself, all four of us have a cold. So now you saw me use Continental spindle gouge just to chew up the bottom, and now here I'm using refiner just to scoop it out a tiny bit and get it relatively flat. Now I can tell by the shavings here, not so much by the sound, you won't hear it through the video, but in person you can tell by the sound as well that the burr is getting dull. So either going back to the grinder or flip it upside down on a sandpaper, remove the old burr and use the burnisher to establish the new one. But here I'm a little bit lazy. Again, these are not finished surface, so these will be turned one more time. I just want to get this rough shape in and let them warp, if they're going to warp at all. Now I'm doing this voiceover a few days after, and these plates are still nice and flat, which is a good thing. So that tells me that the wood, that these four blanks don't have any tendency to warp, which is good. So here again I'm just chewing up the blank and kicking shavings on the floor, making the space for myself. Now if you wonder why I use calipers from the center, so the right leg on the previous calipers I used in the center and then mark the total diameter, that's because these dividers couldn't go all the way that wide. So here I'm using, and this is properly sharp scraper, and I'll do a video, probably one of the next videos, about how to sharpen the scraper properly and how to tell if it's dull or not, so if you're having any issues. But here you can see how the shavings are flying off and how there is quite a bit of dust on the scraper top. That tells me that it's nice and sharp. So I just made a recess with 3/4 inch square inch scraper and just checking that it's slightly undercut the base, so it will only sit on the little feet portion, which you're going to see in a few seconds. So this is now marking that small feet that the plate will be rest on. And here again I'm using Continental spindle gouge just to make a rough shape on the outside. Now why I'm using Continental spindle gouge, no particular reason. You can use ball gouge, regular round bar spindle gouge, whichever tool you like. On the outside like this, it's not that critical, there is not big overhang, so you don't need the strength, let's say, of a big ball gouge. So that's the rough shape, and I'm just going to smooth it out with refiner. Again, it's not necessary at this stage, but I just like to get the overall shape in on all four pieces pretty much the same. So that's the bottom done. Again, a little bit of tear out here and there. At this stage it doesn't matter. So that was holding on a 3-in-1 screw chuck from the VICMARC, and these are, I believe, 5-inch jaws on a VM120 chuck from VICMARC again. I only use their stuff for the chucks and jaws. I really think these are supreme over any other chucks for wood turning. So here you're going to see something really interesting. For the inside of plates I like using this big bowl scraper. This is extra big one, 38 mil wide by 10 mil thick. You can see roughly 50-degree angle. Doesn't look that pretty, but it has burnished burr and works beautifully. The reason why I like to use it on the shallow curves, like on the plates, again, it has that relatively similar to refiner curve, and I don't want to reshape refiner, so I have this one, and doesn't matter that it's a traditional scraper, and you'll see now in a few seconds that I take awfully a lot of wood away and really quickly. But if you know how to use single bevel scrapers, there is no fear of catches or anything like that. But there is some of the things that you have to look out for, and you'll see here as I start to going towards the rim with that scraper, and I really watch out for the sound. If I'm pushing a little bit too hard, and I back it off a little bit. But here you can see I'm taking quite a bit from the inside, and here you'll see now the magic. So the shaving is roughly around 3/4 of an inch at once thick, so, or sorry, wide, and it really does the job really nice, and it's fun. I could use a gouge for this, but again, this is fun for me. And you can see the shaving wide as my point finger. And again, after these warp, if they will warp, I'll use for the inside again this scraper, just a little lighter touch, more finesse to get a really nice smoothing curve, nice flowing curve all the way to the bottom of the plate. So I have a relatively wide rim, as you can see here, but the portion that starts to curve down to the inside, it's supported by the foot on the outside, on the bottom, so there is no tipping over or anything like that. Here I'm just using a spindle gouge to chew up. This is the foot, by the way, that little bulk ring that you see in the middle. I can use the same, these 5-inch jaws to grip it, to smooth and return the outside. Then I can use the recess on the bottom to chew the inside. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully you like this, a little short video on how I do this. I like to do this step for every plate that I do.